Hey, welcome back to I Allegedly. I'm Dan, and I've got a good one for you today because people are just worried all around. Doesn't matter where they live, doesn't matter how much money they make. People are concerned right now. They're worried about job losses, they're worried about businesses closing, affordability, everything. Their dim future, they're worried about it all right now. So please like this video, share it, and subscribe to this channel. Make sure the bell notification's on because so many YouTubers like myself are hearing about notifications being sent out a day and two later. So let's get right into it. There is a consumer confidence index, and they ask people, how do you feel about things in the economy? And right now, this is the lowest that it's been in 2025. It's dropped down to a level of 55. Now, the second lowest level was at 58, and that was in May of 2025. So everybody's concerned right now about this. And it doesn't matter what your income is, it doesn't matter where you live, because affordability is a huge problem. Now, one thing that blows me away is rents. Think about this. In New York City, we're seeing an affordability crisis in New York. Average rent in the Tribeca area, $8,000 a month. Hello, 8 grand, guys, to pay rent. Well, that's devastating right now. I mean, you get nothing. No tax write-off, no sense of ownership. Now, I believe in renting, I really do, but I don't believe in paying 8 grand a month for rent for some one-bedroom loft in hell, okay? Or I'm sorry, or in New York City, as they call it. But you'll see. One thing that we're seeing is a great article out of the New York Times. And the article is so serious, it's a free article. See, everybody gets to read this. It talks about all these restaurants that are going out of business. And one of the biggest problem areas is Los Angeles, California. And originally, when 15,000 structures were lost in January, they said, oh, this is going to destroy the economy, and it's just going to be a matter of time until people come back. If you don't have a school to take your children to, if you don't have your home and you're staying in a hotel or you're living with friends, you may want to go out. But these high-end restaurants that are closing, you have restaurants that were named in the top 100 restaurants of the country that are gone forever. And it doesn't matter if it's Koreatown, doesn't matter if it's LA, Studio City. You know, some of these places, like in Studio City, they were talking about how, hey, you know, we had a 143-day strike with the Screen Actors Guild, and it just destroyed us. That's, you know, something they never recouped from. Never, ever, ever recouped from. So, I mean, it's crazy. There is a subprime auto lender, and this makes 0 cents to me. 0 cents. The subprime auto lender went bankrupt because people are not paying their bills. Okay, well, Dan, you talk about how people are having difficulty all the time. Here's the thing. Tricolor was the name of the company. Tricolor has between $1 and $10 billion in debts, with they anticipate 25 to 50,000 creditors right now, and their website's even shut down. But this is where they specialized in immigrant lending. Huh? How do you do that? Well, you know, have you guys ever bought a car before? Because I have. Hey, I want to see pay stubs. I want to see proof of income. Show me the bank statements. Show me everything. And guys, it was, you know, it wasn't for a $75,000 car. It was for just a car. So with that being said, these people, and read the article below because it's crazy. They specialize in people that didn't have bank accounts, didn't have traditional income. So what do? Just, is it the promise of payback? The promise of, hey, you better make a cash payment or you're going to repo the car. The company went out of business, and they are not a traditional lender. They don't have traditional payments. They don't have people that are citizens making payments, which is insane, insane. Now, the wild twist to this thing is there is a bank called Fifth Third Bank, which is horrible. It's a horrible name for a bank, and I said that 2 years ago when I first heard the name of that bank. But they were caught up in a scheme where they lent this company over $200 million for a line of credit, and it looks like they were defrauded on it. Well, they don't have traditional people writing checks. How the hell do you get a $200 million line of credit for a company and you don't have people making traditional payments? Cash is coming in, payments are coming in through money orders and all the other shenanigans, but you're sitting there telling us that this is how it is. I mean, it's nuts. It makes absolutely zero sense that this company was out there, but they're done. Tricolor's done. And here's the funny thing: as I was researching this online, people are like, "Hey, do I still have to make my payment?" No, the car's yours. The car's free. Of course you have to make the payments, guys. Of course you have to make the payment. You're going to see more and more bank mergers, more and more lenders go out of business, and more problems as this thing gets deeper. As it gets deeper, this whole myth that lowering interest rates is going to figure everything out and fix everything. There are $7 trillion right now tied up in money market funds and high interest products that people are just parked right now, waiting to decide what they're going to do with it. Well, when interest rates go down, they're going to do something with that money because they don't want to get paid less. Nobody wants to get paid less than what they're getting right now. So this is going to dramatically change a few things. So there is a man in Miami, and I got to thank Dr. Marvin for this story because this one's solid gold, where the guy did a credit bust out. Think about this. He bought 7 vehicles, 7, within a couple days of each other for $464,000, hoping that they wouldn't catch him. Okay? Ernesto Murado, 47, was arrested Wednesday on 7 counts of grand theft because he had no intention of making the payments. But what this guy does is you go out and you get a loan, whether you manipulate your credit, you lie about your credit, you lie about your job. Now again, Tricolor, he didn't care if you were a citizen of this country, and they were lending people money on auto loans. Now, the interest rates were through the roof, and they're talking about how it was predatory and all that stuff. But Mr. Murado, this guy went out and borrowed $464,000, and the idea was to never make the payment on 7 different loans that he could never afford. But the bank caught him in time to where they arrested the guy. So that's called a credit bust out, because you borrow a bunch of money, then you file bankruptcy, or you sell the vehicles, you just dump them. I mean, it's kind of exciting that people do crazy stuff like this. But again, they're getting more and more sophisticated, guys. You see all the, we've all seen American Greed, and these people get caught eventually. Eventually, they always get caught, you know? So one thing that's funny is Southwest Airlines is looking at a higher end ticket, and they're looking at a long haul travel program to where you could have better programs and better seating, kind of like the international flights. Well, if you travel to Singapore, you can spend $15,000 on a plane flight, and you can get a little cubbyhole room that you can sit in and be away from everybody. Southwest Airlines, think about it, until last month didn't have assigned seating, and now they're going to be your high-end luxury traveler. Hell no, no one's going to do that. I mean, that talking about a problem waiting to happen, you know. So it's crazy, lot to cover. Let me know what you think about this stuff so far. Now, the affordability crisis, it's sending so many people away from the big cities right now. And it's just not New York City. It is Los Angeles. It is Austin. It is Dallas. It is the South. People are tired of paying more money to live in a place just because of the zip code. It's stupid right now. Why not be affordable? If you can earn a living and you can pay less, that's what you should be doing right now. That's what everybody should be doing right now. So, you know, one thing that you have to do is you have to prepare right now for power problems and for grid problems. I really mean this. There is a great story below about how, we've talked about this 6 months ago about how our power grids are going to go out, and you're going to see blackouts coming. And nobody wants to hear about this. Nobody wants to have this conversation, but they're warning you, and they're warning all of us. I'm telling you, what if you did not have power in your house for 7 days? Could you handle that? Could you eat? There's people that couldn't eat. I've got stoves, I've got food prep, I've got everything for months on end. I've got water, I've got everything. that it would take. You need to have this. What about dog food? What about cat food? Okay? Are your pets covered if something happens? Oh, yeah. Well, I hope so. No, guys, because what's going to happen is you're going to see a run on the stores and you're going to see things cleared out quickly if this would happen. If the stores could even open. If the stores could even open. Now, spoke to a manager at Albertsons, which was the company that was going to merge with Kroger, and they have plans for like what happens in a power blackout. What happens in the first 48 hours? The place is cleaned out. The place is done. Okay? People are doing a mad dash for everything that resembles food. Everything. So, they'll bring in more. No, 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 no. It's done, guys, at that point. You won't have access to your bank account. You won't have access to anything at that point. But when they're starting to talk about the power grid going out, it's not that hot right now. It's not winter. The demand is not there. They're getting you ready for this right now. They're getting us all ready for this. So prepare yourself, guys, because when they're talking about the power grid going down, you got to take this stuff seriously. It's just, oh man, it's just too much. It really, really is. You know, a couple lighter things that I thought, it's funny. We joke about the $7 trillion in money market funds, and people are like, "What's a money market fund, Dan?" Well, the point is that you're going to see problems with these banks. It's only going to get, multiplied and get worse. When you see a lender like Tricolor, and you can sit there and say, they're just deadbeat lenders, Dad. They're just the people that are out, going out, and that can't get a traditional loan. When you have someone like that, business is booming, and they're committing fraudulent acts, and they cannot collect payments. I'm telling you, how do you collect on somebody that's not a citizen of this country, that doesn't have a traditional job, doesn't have a traditional bank account? Talking about a problem, these people have such a huge problem. I don't know how they're going to stay in business. I don't know how there's other, and don't think this is the only lender that does this. There's a lot of them that do stuff like this. There is something crazy where there is products that get sent to me all the time. And, because I cover mom yoga, where there's a there's a high-end company that does yoga programs, aloe yoga, and you can buy a yoga bag. I'm like, oh, that's nice. What's a high-end yoga bag cost? $3,000. Who the heck's got $3,000 for a bag that you go to take to work out? That, listen, no one sits there and goes, oh my God, I love your bag. You're there to work out, guys. You're not there to do anything. But somebody's going to spend $3,000 on this? God, talking about a bankruptcy waiting to happen. It's crazy, guys. It's absolutely crazy. So people are not wasting money like they used to. When you hear about affordability and that the fact that high-end individuals are spending less money than ever right now, there's a change. There's a change in spending habits. There's a change in what people are doing right now to go out and to entertain themselves. When you hear about all these restaurants that are going out of business, that's a problem right now. Now, final story. And don't forget, we have a private channel called I Allegedly Live. We've done a flurry of content on that the last few days. And it's all the uncensored stuff that we can't talk about. I want to show you guys at the park up here. They've got a concert series coming up, a smaller one where they get like a quartet and stuff. And just nice. It's nice to come up here. The thing I get a kick out of, people set up in the morning like this, and they'll wait till the evening, and nobody will disrupt their stuff. So, everybody's different, but the band's starting to set up their stuff and get ready for tonight. So, anyways, final story. We covered about the AI podcast and how that's going to be a problem. Here's something that you guys have seen. If you guys are on the private channel, I've sent you people some crazy stories and videos that are made up, that are made by AI. There's going to be AI film studios. And I own AI domain names right now. I'm telling you guys, I've had domain names for 30 years almost, and late 90s. And one thing I get a kick out of is people that if you have anything that's AI related, they're offering big money for this stuff. But you're going to see film studios and they're going to have actors, and they're going to have movies made and TV shows made that will be completely scripted through AI. You will not have a traditional actor and actress. Think about that. So the only person you'll pay is the AI team, and you'll pay for the writer, and that's it. You will not have a traditional film crew, and it'll all be done through the computer. Now, the other thing, the final thing is, now that silver's at $42 an ounce right now, which is insane, and you need to get yourself some. I've been talking about gold for 3 years and silver for 3 years. You guys have to get yourself into this stuff, okay? They're not even sponsoring the channel today, and you should call them. Anyways, you cannot have an AI program without silver. There is not enough silver to go around. Silver is going to shoot up in price. That's my prediction, okay? And you know what? I've been right so far. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, protect yourself. You can control your affordability in everything you do by cutting your costs, not owing anybody any money. You can go buy any car you want right now. There is some jackass lender that, hey, Dan, you want that Ferrari? Yeah, let's do it. Listen, interest rate's going to be a little high. Okay. Finance it for 10 years. Oh, we can do 7. No, do 10. Do 10. That way I can swing the payment. Okay. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy. People are going to do this more and more. So let me know what you think. I like to go hang out at the lawn bowling place and meet those chicks that like to lawn bowl. That's fun. Oh my gosh. Myrtle. Have a good one. You want to get a hold of me, it's hello@iallegedly.com. You're not the only person suffering from this right now. Remember that. You're not alone. It's not an island. Let's go up and lean over the fence and you can see what lawn bowling looks like. These broads are all getting ready. Anyways, yeah, I said broad. Anyways, it's fun, okay? Lawn bowling, you and me, okay? Anybody wants to invite me out lawn bowling, I'll go, okay? I'll see you soon.